Most welcome to my channel. Today, of course, I'd like to talk about everything that is going on, the big changes we could incorporate if only we are willing to understand what is happening, what we can do on an individual level, and that is huge. That is understanding in the first place that we've all been born on a chromosomal level that streams on duality, so not allowing polochromatics or all colored fields into our embodiment, because duality is everything between black and white, as seen in sciences and as seen in society, um, any cultural outlet, name it. So here it's high time to bring through the keys that changes our biological content into a new garment, into the garment we were meant to be loading on this earth plane, while unifying and purifying in the first place the earth plane, so it can feed us with nutrients and not with synthetics and plastic foods anymore. So teaching that and allowing self to know about all the energy bodies that we have is massively interesting in the first place. In the second place, it will eliminate anything that we want. Like if we look at social media, what is breeding high level is fears, is panic, is the unknown. Actually, people fear the unknown. What we do know is that we have an emotional body. Most are not even aware of their physical body, let alone the higher mental bodies, and also, of course, in the first place, your spiritual body that can connect from this plane of existence into many, many, many other planes of existence. And there is where it gets interesting, actually. So we need to educate people how to change their chromosomes from birth on, their astrological chart, and many other dense charts need to leave the embodiment in order for the glandular construction in the body to resurrect. I'm talking about this uh, because anything that is termed fear allows for many other lower emotions. And so when we eliminate fear-based consciousness from the glandular construction in the body, it automatically will eliminate all the lower emotions, such as depression versus expression, such as angers, sadness, not knowing how to deal. So here the technology comes from everything out there, the big cosmos, and how to realign to the origin of our embodiment, which is pure light technology and consciousness. So many formulas coming from your own calculations, meaning to say with this is that we have or can align to mathematics that are very individual, that we construct a glandular system. We can allow ray formulas, color-coded rays, and we can encode consciousness into them that override the present consciousness. Let's keep it to fear in this case, because that is most interesting to people to get out of that, and uh, um, never actually dig into that again, or allow it in your personal individual space. And once we know how to do that, it empowers you. And from that small level of empowerment, you will be willing to move into the higher degrees of knowledge. So knowing how to work on your many energy bodies, lifting them up into many other spaces, connecting with them, opening up your highest level mental capacity is very important. We need to move out of the old mentality, break those barriers down, break that old psyche down, and level up to high level data. Information. We are all hungry for information. Yet, when being born in dual consciousness and how that broke down education in the first place, how that broke down our health, how that broke down our businesses, needs to resurrect, and reason why this particular pandemic is going on. But that's only a first wave. So imagine the earth will not tolerate any imbalances anymore. We are moving into a balanced state with all other planets in the solar system, in the galaxies, in universal systems. And maybe that is Chinese to some, it may be Hebrew to other people, it is English to me. So once you get that, and you are ready to open up the body or content, or everybody knows what a chakra is. It's an energy wheel within another energy wheel, within another, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. There is no end, and that is termed evolution, moving back into the evolution of yourself and upgrading that content and working along or with all species, light species, all elements. The body is made up of elements, yet how many people are aware of that? I mean, we do know we need calcium, selenium, iron to build up our protein levels in the nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen. All that has gone lost when living in the matrix of density, negativity, and everything that comes through that. So in order to understand what I'm willing to get to is meditation or meditational alignment through light technology. Sitting in meditation and getting bored is not a way to do it. It's getting technology in your body, and in the first place is opening your channels back in the body. That means your fingers need to be open up to receive information. Your feet centers need to be open up. All the energy wheels, all stuck patterns in your root, in your sacral center. Imagine so many people are bloated like hell in the sacral centers, and that needs to be flat, like the body of beauty would move through. So that is all stuck patterns we need to move through. Look at how hearts have been crushed, how many speak truth. Look at how the throat centers or the thyroid and parathyroid glands have been blocked off from pure brain waves that interconnect continuously with your heart centers. And that is a large level of achievement, because first of all, we need to break those old mental barriers. Everything that is stuck in your brain, or any pattern that makes you depressive, that makes you live in luck, in survival mode especially, that needs to leave. And so it's actually that life needs to match light. So matching light plus life means you get into the vibration of living light and reorganizing your organism into the biology it's meant to move into. So when opening up through a seminar, all of your bodily centers or open gates, opening up your channel, changing in the first place, let's say, old habits, old belief systems that comes from teachers, parents, environmental debris, anything, colleagues, so on the workplace, or anything you picked up out of books on the Google machine. There is plenty of density and negativity, and it's hard to decipher. So we need to really learn to discern what information is applicable and what is not. And so moving into a first level of matching light to our life, a life organism, is opening these channels, opening up or purifying, especially the nervous system. So the flight syndrome moves out, and you move into a very peaceful measure, because peace, I never liked that word, but I do now, because without understanding, you cannot like anything. And when can you understand anything I'm saying? While experiencing it. Without experience, there is no understanding. So all that we are living on this earth plane is about experiencing, understanding, leveling up, and moving into the higher degrees of evolution, because we are living the revolution of evolution. That is simple and clear language. Should we be willing to getting to know our physical, mental, emotional, spiritual body, and then moving into the higher senses with this high sensuality that overrides the emotional body that needs to leave the water content. So bringing through the biggest change is through the water of the body, quite naturally. Planet Earth is all water, purifying the water, the seas, the rivers, the lakes, and purifying the ecology, geology of Earth, so we can grow foods that really feed us again. That is where we need to step and move into, and planting those forest gardens like everywhere in every city, every continent, every country, and playing some good music along that. Like most now do know that musical vibrations can change the body, can change mentality, can make you happy, depressive, name it. Any emotion can be attached to it. But it's very important to change your list of songs like every 2 or 3 months at least, or every month, and so you can level up to a next level of musical skills, and aligning that with all universes. And that is what creation is about, creating that light body, opening these channels. Apart from the nervous system, there is the glandular system is so important, and how emotions such as fears, sadness, anger, attachments, name it, there is so much we need to delete permanently, evaporate from the body, because essentially it was the air, the bad air, the air full of debris, the air coming from the animal kingdoms, with which we breathe in the instincts of the animals, the fears and the torture of the animals while we eat meat. So moving into a vegan diet would be very helpful to move into perfect health, because without it, nobody will start to breathe the eternal living light, and many other substances that go above that, that clear up your lungs, that clear the arteries, that will clear basically everything in your astrophysical biology. Your organism needs to reorganize. And once you understand that, you have done your part, and yet you can move into an understanding of a big change in your brain centers, changing consciousness from dual cords into the consciousness of your spirit. And there, that is where it gets interesting, because it would speak to you, it would allow you to bring the changes through that comes through, in the first place, designs as we know them, through geometrical patterns. But how can we get in touch with that? That is, again, opening those energy centers, opening up to the energy fields, grounding these fields in your home base in the first place. So, and when you, in the end, these fields start producing a grid construction in your body. From that grid construction, You can have access in the geological ley lines of the earth. Through these ley lines, you can see crystal clear underground. You can open up designs. Designs are pictures, geometrical patterns that may be also mathematical composition, just like a number, for example. It can direct you to elements that are a necessity. And these here I'm talking about crystals I'm wearing, because moving into crystalline light, it needs crystals as an element to help you build up these ley lines, these crystalline grid construction that provide information for this age and to move faster. So here meditation is not only like calming you down, getting out of depression. It is about knowledge in the first place. It is about upgrades in consciousness. It is about eliminating the old emotional bodies in the first place as well. So, and when that has been done, we can understand how we can move up into the higher level of intelligence and co-create together in the community. There is so much healing needed today in hospital, in the educational systems, in psychiatric institutions. It's incredible how they keep doors closed for those with knowledge. And so here in a 7-day seminar, I will open up all these fields. I will give you all the information needed while getting out of the emotional body filled with fears, panic, distress, depression, angers, not understanding where you need to go to move. It was predicted many years ago, nobody would listen. So this time around, it is becoming a necessity to understand why you are here on the planet. And it is quite crystal clear that growing up, studying something, becoming an entrepreneur, and having a family just to die and get into a coffin would be a bit too idiot, right? We are here to live eternally, to move into an eternal breathing system. Like when I breathe in, that needs to go on. I'm still breathing in, and I just feel waves going through my body, for I'm connected with all universes. And so when I breathe out, the same thing. While most people, when they breathe up, get stuck over here, and there's no open channel right away into their brainwaves, so they cannot possibly understand what is going on, or let alone change these brain patterns. Many talk about rewiring the brain, which is a good thing, but it needs to be become a space actually of self-dependency and not codependency. We can work with many light species out there, with the giants, with the elements, with the animal kingdom that are so great assistance, and bring down the elements that laid dormant for many eons, because we were born in dual consciousness. We were born here to change this entire biological construction ever since many ages, and we've been building that up. And here in this age, in 2020, everything is coming together for those who are willing to listen and open up these educational systems. So my education in a 7-day seminar would like changing, transforming your consciousness, getting rid of the old mental barriers, getting that emotional body out of you, and how to do that. And of course, teach you the knowledge about how to self-management, how that self-management, works with your consciousness and how you can upgrade with your individual team network that you will create through many universes. And that team network is loading on the planet, and that is what you feel. So we getting assisted massively should we be willing to listen and to cooperate with them. So we need elements to rebuild, to reconstruct our body to move into perfect health, like and to eliminate in the first place all the fears that are going on, moving into a space of truth, allowing peaceful measures needs an integration, a design, a mathematic, and then and you can load that the first 10 minutes when you get up in the morning. That's bloody fantastic, I would say, because then you start to open up the next levels in your glandular construction. So like you have the thalamus gland, the hypothalamus, the thymus is so important as a master gland. The pineal and many other glands need to merge. It's not only for the eye to see. There's so many eyes. There's a creator eye, there's the eye of knowledge, there's the divine eye. There's so many eyes to open up to. But first come the physical eyes when they're open, and you can see crystal clear for what many term the unseen, and then things become a alive vibration. And when that alive vibration can tune into many other frequencies, you can heal yourself from the atrocities from the past at every single moment. So you become a living, breathing, grid entity that works with all universes, with the entire cosmos, and not only planet Earth, with all planetary systems. And that means also bringing through the repair of the solar systems and your particular stream with all of that moon vibration. Okay, so that is understandable when bringing that into practice and being ready to change your biology, your mentality, your psyche. Your inner psyche needs to move up to the forefront. And when you're willing to do that, you will understand it needs 7 days to make you understand how to work with it, to make you understand how you can teach it to other people, how you can teach it to students, how you can teach healings to children, for example. An example I'd be very willing to give is I've been teaching a fitness class, like fitness meditation, but children would cling on, yoga teacher, yoga teacher. I don't like the word yoga, but it was so much implemented into their brains by parents, society, the environment, that no matter how many times I told them, I don't want to be a yoga teacher, I want to be like an overall new universal teacher. That's all I want to be. And so most of these kids between 9 and 12 years old would come into my class like, I got a headache, my stomach aches, plenty of complaints. I said, okay. I've been giving them 5 lessons by then. I said, lay down, tell me where does it come from, tell me everything, don't try to lie because I deciphered in a few seconds. And so they thought of it as quite a fun for them. But I got to the core level of pain, of mental and physical issues, and the entire psychology. So I asked them most of the time, what did you eat? When there was nothing wrong with that, what did you eat from the words from your parents and teachers? And that was the single key that we needed. So many old belief systems kids could not digest anymore. So I always had one kiddo being healed by 4 other kiddos. I instructed them, and and I allowed their creativity to get these stones, for example, out of their stomach aches. And that would have been done in like 15 minutes time. So after that, the funny thing is they practice it to their teachers or their parents. And so that is the way to do it. Teach kids and they will teach society, right? So that is easy, but you need the knowledge and the technology of how to do it. If you want to move, an example of this, if you want to move into very peaceful measures, you're not going to give a kid orange, red, and gold, like a combination of encoded ray colors, because that would have a different outcome to become very peaceful. I had a bunch of like 20 teenagers, moving them into peace after half an hour. They move like latent, like, hey, I said, get up, get active. That is what alignment can do when knowledge comes to the forefront. You need to have the mathematical component that does it. And all you need to do with that is how to breathe that in and where to breathe that in. We can, for example, breathe a number 8 in your bloodstream. But we need to know what it does, right? We need to combine it with a color. So that's an example. And here I prefer to work in the first place with the glandular construction, because that is where it sticks like a ticker tape. Especially fear, panic, depression, all consciousness and complaint, of course, and knowing how to clear out your lungs and the cardiovascular system and the arteries that go with it, and so that move into your muscular content and all that. It's beyond neuroscience. It's a science of spirit that brings that through. And once you're aligned, you can do the same as I can do. Because that is what independency or self-dependency means. That is the power through knowledge, and that is what I would like to move people into. For now, I do have, for those who dare to do it, an alignment on MP3 already to move you out of fear. I have an alignment on MP3 to move you into peace, to cleanse especially the water of your body. Many other emotions like fears, angers, and so on will be cleared through that alignment, and that is very important, getting the emotions out so you move into a higher level of intuition and trust. When you can trust yourself, you can trust others, and your intuition moves into higher levels once you get into the first levels of clearing the water in your body, the lymphatic system, the kidneys, the water that moves along through many brain capacities. So there is so much to clear out. So here, I hope you understand that healing the planet will heal humanity, and that means coming into terms or in balance with the animal kingdom, moving out of the torture, moving out of the meat eat, and along that with all the elements, the crystal kingdoms, the herbal kingdoms needs to rise, and every fruit, every vegetable that we eat need to move into a higher content, because we're all tired, I guess, from eating synthetics and having synthetics in food supplements. They don't work either, and will not in the future, neither will medication. So I wonder what scientists are doing at this time, because if you don't merge with spirit science, there's nothing to eat from. There's only killing fields. So here, lift your consciousness, beautiful people. Get up and decide if you want to move into a higher level of consciousness or not, because that there is no other option that to really learn to work with your organic construction and learn from spark to spark, from self to self, and then there is no end to what you can create, because life becomes interesting because you start to understand other life forms, other organisms, and many organisms that we kept hidden for a long, long time, and that is finishing up actually, finally. So here I would suggest fitness is not enough. The other side, uh, okay, it's okay, pretty much okay to detox the body and do that for a week or so. So eliminate juicing through some elements and work with them, but especially also like eliminate the attachment to certain foods. Detaching, that is my specialty, eliminating fear and getting the lungs and your respiratory system crystal clear so you can breathe free is what I do, especially in individual sessions. They take between 1, 2, or 3 hours, depending on the severity of the disease going on. But after that, you will feel that big relief in the body. You can breathe wild. Keep it that way, and you will also get instruction via an MP3 player how to keep that up. Should your consciousness go back into the old, always reset, reset, reset. Exactly the same way as you do with your computer. So what we are essentially moving into is the evolution of new apps. We open up the new biological apps to the organism that we have, and that is the airplane. So let's clear the airplane. Let's move into the purity of the body, match them so we can match everything outside there, all universes, all planets, and let's start communicating. And that is, well, a very big project. So I hope many schools, universities, colleges, kindergartens, whatever, will be open to these teachings. I'll provide a lot of onlines. I can do webinars for schools, and universities at least be open, because in the end, there is nothing that will assist the body. The only medication is going to be your meditational alignment through light or living light technology, matching your alive organism. And that is actually it. So listen well to self,